So super appropriate. What the fuck are you doing? You're doing a horrible job.
You fix it then. I'm gonna take a shit.
I feel like I might have to poop myself. I'm thirsty.
Exactly. On to the next beer.
That was a lot of talking.
Yeah, Ron,
So
Jesus.
anyway, Ron stole the show. He's
I
just
had
the
to-
fucking co-host.
You got all serious over there.
I felt-
No
Right.
bullshit.
Last week I felt like shit. This week I feel great. I have things to talk about.
So anyway, we have this one now, the Listerman Pot of Gold.
We should have done this like a week or two ago.
Right.
Oh well. It's 3 weeks of
It's 3 weeks of St. Patrick's
That's
Day.
right. Because see,
it's still festive.
I did. I was like, fuck it. You know what? I'm going to wear my other St. Patrick's Day shirt that I have. Because it's like, I bought this beer a few weeks ago, and I forgot about it when I brought the beers that I did bring. But we got Shamrock Shake Pot of Gold, 5.8% ABV. It's a golden sweet stout. Listerman Brewing Company. Contains lactose. It says that on there twice. I wonder if that's... Oh, no, it says it's like around the bottom.
Is this gonna be green?
I don't think it's green.
I hope so.
I think it should
They give you fucking the black shits.
If you're gonna call it Shamrock Shake, it
It
better
better
be
be green,
fucking
right?
green.
It says our infamous golden sweet stout is back and more flavorful than ever, brewed with honey and caramel malts. We added Irish cream, cocoa nibs, and marshmallows. You don't want to miss out on this
God.
magically delicious brew.
Damn it, that sounds good.
It does sound
I'm
good.
excited.
So anyway, did you look up Listerman? Is that what you're
I
doing?
did.
Okay.
I did. So Listerman was, it's located down on Dane Avenue in Cincinnati, and it was founded in 2008. Our passion is all about innovative, high-quality, award-winning craft beer, and Ariana dropping things, supporting local Cincinnati community. Listerman's is a homebrew supply store, and they also have a tap room. So you can get shit, like I was talking earlier, to get homebrew. You can get it from there, and you can get their beer.
Awesome.
There's a whole bunch of stuff on there, and apparently Thursday, February the 2nd, 2023, Dan and Sue Listerman announced their retirement from Listerman Brewing. Cincinnati, one of Cincinnati's first craft breweries and the region's largest home of brewing supply store. Yeah, so yeah, the original owners are retired, and they have sold it to somebody else as of February. But apparently, Listerman's, not only do they have awesome craft beer, but you can also get stuff to make your own.
So this beer is very golden honey colored.
It looks like a
It's
Budweiser.
It's
looks
almost
a little bit darker.
It's almost amber.
Almost like just under the amber shade.
Ooh, that's delicious.
It smells like a cream soda or something.
I was gonna say it
like-
tastes cream soda.
It tastes very cream
Cream
soda-ish.
soda-ish with some chocolate inside.
It tastes cream soda with like a coffee-ish flavor almost.
That is delicious.
It is really good.
chocolate. It's
I'm
weird.
kinda
I
liking
like
it.
it. It's like not.
Oh, you should have. This has got a lot of weight in the bottom. I don't know if you should have rolled this or not.
No, it doesn't have a lot of weight in the bottom. It's just beer. It didn't need to be rolled.
Oh, okay. So as far as the can art itself, we've got a looks like a green pot with a rainbow coming out of it, leprechaun style, with a little white checkered background, white shamrocks, and it's a silver can, silver can. I like it. Very simple.
Your typical.
St. Patrick's Day theme.
That's right.
So it tastes like cream soda, and then it has like a chocolate or coffee flavor, and then like the aftertaste is a little bit bitter.
A little bit, but it's an interesting flavor. I don't know how to describe that. It's not a strong flavor by any means.
No. Like at first you get the cream soda, and then it's like a little bit of chocolate.
It tastes like cream soda to me.
Right. It's kind of like, ooh, this cream soda is a beer. Like, it's like you're drinking a cream soda and then realize it's a beer.
It's like when you get those, like, was it Not Your Father's root beers or whatever? You could easily fool me into this is a Not Your Father's cream soda kind of a thing.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Yeah. I don't know that I've ever had one of the Not Your Father's cream sodas, but I've had the Not Your Father's root beers, and that makes complete sense. So yeah, it's Not Your Father's cream soda tasting.
I like it. It's good.
So I had this really fucked up thing that happened to me the other day.
I like fucked up things happening sometimes.
Right. So, and I don't know. I mean, I know how to tell the story, but I don't know what to make of like what exactly it was.
Damn, I want another one of these.
So I know, I kind of do too. So I had, I went to bed the one night, and so there's at times where I'll be listening to like certain frequencies, because like, you know, like I don't know if you guys have seen those different type of, just a little bit experiments where they put like maybe the sand on the flat surface, and then they play a frequency, and then it changes the shape of the sand and whatever.
Sound wave is blown through it or whatever.
Right. And then so frequencies are like similar to your body. They're supposed to have different effects. They're supposed to be like calming, anti-anxiety type frequencies, or, you know, like certain frequencies that are supposed to pep you up and make you happy, like if you're in like a not so great mood, give you energy. Or, you know, there's some that's just good to sleep to, or there's like healing frequencies. And I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to listen to some healing frequencies. And I was like,
did it all sound like cat purrs?
No.
Okay.
And then I was like, you know what? I think I didn't have to work the next day or something, and I wasn't going to get up early by any means. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to listen to some fucking, some astral projection frequencies and see if I have like weird things happen to me. So just about as soon as first off, before I go through this, just for anybody who doesn't know what type of dreams I have, whenever I have a dream, I could be like, oh, I had this dream, I was at home. I know it was my home because everything in my dream signified that it was my home, but it does not look like my home.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I have those too.
And that's every place. So anytime I ever wake up from a dream, there is no question as to, oh my God, did that really happen a different day, or was that a dream? No, I always know it's a dream, because just things are fucked up enough that they're different from my actual waking life. So, and then another weird thing that I always have had happen to me, and I don't know exactly what it is. So like, if like, especially when I work third shift, and then I would be awake all morning and then throughout the day, and then I'd be watching TV with Larry in the evening. I'd fall asleep on the couch. He'd be on the one couch, I'd be on the other. He could look at me and not even make a noise, and it would wake me up. And the thing of it is, when it would wake me up, I could see him looking at me as soon as like I'm starting to wake up. So my eyes aren't even open yet, but I see it, and that's what wakes me up. So that's really weird. And I don't know if like he's looking at just my body, or if he's looking at my face and eyes. So there's a certain part about it that gets me, and that's it. But the way that it feels when it jolts me awake is the same every time. And this is like the part of the other night. So when I went to bed and I listened to those astral projection frequencies, the minute I started to fall asleep, I saw my room and my doorway and the living room exactly how it is in real life. So I'm like, that's not typically how I dream. And this fucking black cloak character rushed my doorway, and it jolted me awake in that same fashion. I'm like, that's fucked up. I was like, that scared me. I was like, that seemed like a dream. But the part about the fact that it did not seem like a dream was that everything was true to my waking life, except that black cloaked character. And I was like, but then again, you know, I'm like that type of person that believes in like, well, you can't see every fucking light frequency. Like, the frequencies are nothing more than wave, like, you know, whatever. It's basically energy. You can't see all forms of energy. So it's like in my head, I'm like, is there something in my house? That and all the crazy noises that I hear from time to time. So it's like, that just freaked me out.
So this is a fun segue. After your story, I've got a good one to follow up on that.
I have one too, actually.
But so anyway, so I was like, all right, cool. And then I went to sleep. And this was like, I think it was like a 6-hour thing, that like the sound on YouTube. So I went to sleep, nothing, woke up. And then I was like, I just woke up to go to the bathroom. This was, you know, no problem. Woke up, went to the bathroom, came back into my room, laid down. And just as soon as I started to fall asleep, same fucking thing happened. It was the same look, and just everything in my room, this black cloaked character, it's just like I saw it. And it was basically like what you would expect in a scary movie. It didn't bounce up and down like it was taking steps. It was just like it levitated across the floor. But like, you know, I couldn't see it down to the floor because of my field of vision. But it was like I was fixated on that, and it just... it rushed the doorway, but as soon as I got to the doorway, just the same as the other time, it jolted me awake, and I'm like, that freaks me out. I'm like, I gotta turn this shit off.
So black cloaked figure, are we talking like something like the typical Grim Reaper looking cloaked, or something?
No, not so much like that. I don't think it was anything like that. It was just basically, it was like really weird because it was black cloaked. Like it had broad shoulders and then like a normal sized head that like would look like if somebody was to be wearing a cloak. But it was just a flat black inside. Like I couldn't see inside it.
Like Halloween costume where you can't see the face covering up.
Yeah, kind of like that. And it was just so weird because it was just like it was there. And it's like, it was basically like, I swear, the way it seemed both times, because it was like, I saw my room and I saw something out of the corner of my eye moving kind of slow. And as soon as it, like, I guess maybe I moved my head or just like focused my field of vision at my doorway, it started charging as soon as I looked. And that's what got me like, you know, I'm kind of thinking was this a dream? Well, I have no idea what it was, you know, what was going on because it was so different from a dream. But even at the fact that if it was a dream and had I been like, I just didn't look that way, would it have still come at me very slowly if I didn't look at it? Or what, like, but I swear, as soon as I turned my head, it was just like, it rushed my doorway both times. And it was like, and it's, I want to do that again, but at the same time, like, I don't think nothing's going to get me. I know that. Like, so but it's just creepy and eerie. And then it's very unsettling for my time, the rest of the time that it's dark until I calm down.
Right, I get
so,
that.
My question is, if you tried it again as like an experiment, say, like you slipped over here at Ariana's and you listened to the sound, do you think you would have a similar experience with a black cloaked figure?
Because, see, I have listened to other, I'm sure I've listened to other, I know I have, but they all sound different. Like, some of them have too much music in them and it's too distracting to me, so, like, I just can't, like, fall asleep to, like, you know, I just can't, like, relax during it. And this one, like, a lot of people in the comments were like, oh, it's, like, a really good sound. I like it. It's unique, blah, blah, blah. And it was unique, but it was kind of more so dark and... It had a slight creepy vibe to it, which, I mean, that could have been part of it too. But with that, it was like, it had a slight creepy vibe, but that doesn't necessarily mean the frequency itself, because like they play a frequency and add music to it. So it doesn't necessarily mean that it was a bad frequency, but that is also part of my thought. It's kind of like people are like, yeah, I'm making a frequency to heal this or do this or do this. Are they really being honest, or are they just
right?
Like,
or do they actually like? Do they really know what they're doing?
Right. You know,
the only frequency I know of that I like,
the brown note.
No.
Okay.
The sound of a cat purring, that is a good frequency.
Okay, that's a good sound. Do you like
that?
Sound?
Is a good frequency. Like, you know, supposedly like a cat's purr has healing properties or something. So yeah,
I would believe that.
Yeah.
So I had one. Well, I think I've probably had more experiences, but one that like sticks out in my mind. And it kind of makes me wonder now because, like, I think I was also astral traveling. Like, I woke up, like, I laid down, face down on my bed. And this is when I lived in Versailles a long time ago.
Face down, ass up.
Yeah, I was just, like, I think I was cleaning or something.
Did you wake up with your ass hurting?
And, and, like...
Was there slime coming out of it? It was ectoplasm.
And I got up. And I was getting dressed and I was putting a belt on and blah, blah, blah. And then like somebody pounded on the door. And so I was like, I don't want them to see me like this. And I jumped back into my body and I woke up real quick and I'm like, so what if there's like something to where like, if that happens, like something's trying to scare you back into your body or something like that?
You know, I remember you saying that one time.
I probably said it on here before.
So you did when it was the strobing butt plug, but I find that really awesome, and I would feel like, you know, maybe you did, because like we listened to this one YouTube short, and I'm really big into this chick named Dolores Cannon that talks about like that, but she's like, she goes, imagine how bored the soul would get if it just waited on you to wake up. She's like, the body's what gets tired, the soul does not get tired. So she's like, would it just sit around and just do nothing as you're doing nothing? No, it's like going to be up other places.
See, I always figured that dreams are the thing to keep your brain, or if you want to go that way, your soul entertained while you're sleeping, because, you know, 8 to 10 hours of sleeping, you know, you're good. Basically, what can you do for 8 to 10 hours to just sit there and stare into space? You're going to get bored, and that's
right.
Your brain, your soul, whatever you prefer, is going to start getting creative and imagining things.
Right.
And that's where some of that's coming from.
And then I heard somebody else, they said like their kid said this, but it was like, what if when you're asleep, that's your normal state? That's like your liveliness. And then when you are awake, it's I forget what, like exactly what they said, but I'm like, so every night when you're sleeping, however much that you sleep.
There's a H.P. Lovecraft story that's like that about a dude who in his waking life is basically just a bum and a piece of shit. But in his sleeping life, he's like...
Fucking hero. He's great.
He's a hero. Yeah, he's a hero. He's great. And like this whole damn time when he's like... He keeps trying to find the place in his dreams in reality where he's a hero. And he eventually winds up finding a town that he's never been to. It's just like his dreams. But it's all wrecked and ruined and all this stuff. And like... You never really get a good resolution on it, but he like jumps off of a cliff and it describes him jumping off the cliff and it goes into the dream world and all this. And like the prologue of the story is, and you see a body of a guy at the bottom of the thing. But as he's jumping off of it, you like hear him like going into the dream world and everything is great and he's finally where he needs to be and all this other stuff.
Right.
I feel like I've read that or saw a movie similar to that.
But no, back to you real quick, jumping into your body. The thing of that is, oh yeah, we do have more of that. I forgot there was more Listerman. But anyway, with you jumping back into your body, so if you just, any one thing that woke you up, regardless of whether, was somebody actually pounding on your door?
No,
or was
I
that
looked out,
just...
like I got up and looked outside real quick and there was nobody out there. So either like if they were, they like
went away
took
real
off.
quick, or see, I feel like it was either that or like, you know, maybe you just heard some,
It could have been the neighbors. I had upstairs neighbors.
right, you could have heard some pounding elsewhere, but regardless, it woke you up.
Maybe there's some function. Maybe there's just some function out there that's, you know, if you start astral projecting something that is supposed to throw you back into it, like your figure or her pounding on the door.
Right. Well, that's basically what it is. Like if you wake up, obviously you're going to be like back into your body, if like the, you know, the astral projection type thing. But so, you know, if you were like in a mid type state of like, you know, half asleep, because you're basically what it is your body falls asleep, but your mind is still just slightly conscious enough that you realize you're asleep. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of like the same with lucid dreaming, because your body is asleep and you're in your dream, you're dreaming, but you're like, wait a minute, this is a dream, therefore I'm asleep. And I've had dreams like that before, because when I was young and I had the nightmares, and then I just basically during the day, I was like, you know, it's a nightmare, it's a dream, blah, blah, blah. And then so when I would be dreaming, it was just like, oh, wait, this is a dream. And then like you consciously are telling yourself, this is a fucking dream. But when you do, like, I mean, normally for me, when I do, it's kind of like, oh, this is a fucking dream. And then it doesn't really startle me, but I become super aware and then I wake up. Whereas if you control yourself to where you're like, oh wait, this is a dream, stay asleep. You can force yourself to stay asleep, but then you can do whatever the fuck you want to in your dreams, which that would be really awesome.
So anyone that is a frequent follower of this knows that I'm not much of a believer in that sort of stuff. But my little follow-up to the black figures and all this stuff. So my daughter's been dating this kid. I don't necessarily like him. I don't dislike him. Not as much, whatever. But a while back, he swore to God, that a black figure chased him from the game room out the back door of my house one night, and he was freaked out about it. And I was like, ha, ha, ha. Well, I mean, you know, there's been some things that say my house is haunted, ha, ha. Just kind of, you know, fucking around with him. And ever since then, you know, that very day, now I don't believe in this stuff, but I thought it was funny. And I'm like, hey, ghosts, if you're in this house, keep fucking with Gabe. It's funny. Fuck with that kid, because I think it's funny. Go for it. And so he's been getting like paranoid about shit. Last Wednesday, Thursday, whatever the hell day it was, him and my daughter were sitting in her room and they downloaded this ghost communicator app for his phone. And they were sitting there trying to talk to the ghosts. Now, the app functions, so basically I was asking about the app. Number one, the app asks for the following permissions for your phone. It asks for your location. It asks for your camera roll. It asks for your phone contacts. It asks for your microphone. It asks for every single possible permission.
That's fucked up.
So I'm going, he's got some Chinese ghosts in his phone. But the ghosts, air quotes, in the phone come out. Basically, the premise of the app is that it will scan the local radio airwaves, and then you could talk to the ghosts, and then the ghosts can manipulate the electromagnetic spectrum, and they could talk back to you. The be-all end-all is the ghosts wound up sounding like Bumblebee from the 2007 Transformers movie where he talked through the radio. And there was a lot of, you can hear whatever the hell you wanted to hear. But Gabe and Sarah...
Kind of like that thing on Facebook or any social media that it's like, you hear whatever word you're reading. There's like a whole type, like in just a couple different words, but then whatever you're looking at, that's what you're hearing, and just whatever...
Yeah.
Basically, that's what it is.
But so they were sitting there screwing around with the app, and it literally just sounded like typical radio static. And I just asked him, like, so my problem with this, guys, is, so do you know how radio waves work? What? Like, seriously, do you know how radio waves work? No. So why would a ghost know how radio waves work? To manipulate them. What? Why would they know how radio waves work to manipulate them? And dude, it doesn't. You know your iPhone doesn't actually have an FM radio thing in it, right? Your iPhone has Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. That's different. Huh? But according to them in that app, there are 2 ghosts that reside at my house, a Steve and Anna, and they've been there since 2000. And Gabe asked them how they're going to die, and according to what Gabe heard, they said white truck, which is what my daughter drives.
Dude, he just fucking sounds dumb.
And I was just like, huh. I was sitting there talking to my cousin about this weekend, and you guys down, I'm going, man, how far can I fucking egg this shit on? Because now I'm having fun with it. Like, there was a gust of wind. The front door wasn't latched all the way. There's a gust of wind that happens sometimes, and it blew the front door open because they didn't shut it tight. And they all, like, freaked the fuck out about it over the weekend. Like, oh, my God. Because it's right next to the game room. I was talking to my cousin, and he was like, oh, man, I need to get a hold of one of my female friends and have her, and like, come over to your house sometime when they're both there and just have her start amping it up. Don't tell, they won't know you told me this story. Just have her go, oh God, I sense a presence here. Steve, it's Steve.
Oh my God.
It's a Steve. And like, basically, because I told my cousin I don't particularly care for the kid, and he's like, I could have her come over and be like, oh, she's a medium, she's psychic, and like, Gabe, you need to be careful here. You're going to start getting really sick if you keep coming here. Steve does not like you. Because the best part is that Steve was like, man, that Steve motherfucker, he's motherfucking pissed. He don't motherfucker like me at all. And I'm like, this would be the best thing ever. And I'm like, how can I amp this up even more? I know when I remodeled my house a few years ago and I like took out a hutch, there's a spot on the back wall where there'd clearly been a fire that had been painted over. And the front part of my house where the game room is has a different roof than the back. I could totally amp this shit up and be like, guys, so the front part of the house is different because there was a fire in the front part. Steve and Anna, they died in there.
That's so awesome.
They're condemned to haunt that forever.
If you could get some kind of fake old, like, newspaper clipping or something like that, that would be fucking hilarious.
And then come to find out, Ron looks up his house and who's owned it, and it was
Steve and Anna did actually die in a fire.
That'd be both fucked up and cool.
But
I mean, I had one experience when I first bought the place where the game room door, I swear to God, opened it when I was changing the front door lock and the place was empty.
And it was probably that wind that you were just talking about.
Well, this is the game room door, not the front door.
That's great.
But you had the front door open,
so
right.
But I
the
swear,
pressure.
The game room door opened on its own. I looked over, it was pitch black. I was like, yo, if this place is haunted, I just bought it. Don't fuck with me or get an exorcist. Then it shut. That's what I saw. That's the only real thing I've ever felt in there. And that's just because it was brand new, super creepy and quiet.
That's pretty interesting. I think it's really funny, especially because of the shitty phone app. But the one thing that I will say, something I just heard it the other day, and I've heard it like several times for years, from like the time I was a teenager, that basically like when you have, I don't know, especially like teenagers, especially that have like high level of emotional, just fucking roller coaster shit, which fucking teenagers, or like the teenagers have like a lot of like drama or fucking trauma in their life, which fucking teenagers.
That kid.
Right. And it's like they're more susceptible to shit like that. So it's kind of like, you know, even though he's probably bullshitting, there would be a higher likeliness that, you know, that he probably could be experiencing shit, but at the same time, like, he's probably bullshitting.
Well, like my daughter last night came home and crashed hard. He went to work.
He has a job.
Yeah, he started flipping burgers at rallies last
Okay,
week.
yeah, that's right. You did say something about that.
Court ordered. Like, literally, he's working 2 hours a day, like 3 days a week at rallies, because the court has ordered him to get a job versus the shit he was pulling before.
Right.
But to that end, yeah, he came back. He was like, we're saying, like, she's out. You go wake her up? Nah, let her sleep. She's had a busy fucking day, man. Well, can I go in and cuddle and sleep with her? Go home, Gabe. Go to your own fucking house where your dad is, and you have your stuff and you live. Oh, but they don't let me in because they lock the door and they won't let me in until Dad gets off work. Huh. Well, figure it out later, man. But he like a few hours later, there's like an abandoned house block over. Apparently he got bored and broke into and was wandering around, and he was like, he called me, he's like, is Saren up yet? No. I broke my fucking knee. What? I broke my fucking knee, dog. Okay, what were you doing? You should probably call 911. No, dog, I broke my knee. Okay, what the fuck were you doing, Gabe? He talked about he like stepped through a board and it broke in this fucking abandoned house around the block. And I'm like, okay, dude, don't go in there. The cops are watching that place. Did you actually break your knee? No, I just hurt a little bit. I'm like, don't be a drama queen, you shithead.
That's funny.
Like, I don't care that you broke your knee. You're not my kid. If you broke your knee, tough shit.
Yeah.
I kind of feel bad for this kid.
I kind of feel bad for this kid,
I feel bad
too,
for him to a degree. And I'm accepting him enough. I feel bad for him to a degree because, like, nobody's basically paid attention to him.
Right.
And that's literally what he needs. But in the same breath, it's like, you're so damn annoying.
Right.
Teenagers are annoying.
Teenagers are dumb as fuck.
So how will we rate this last
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh, that's a good 4 or 5 for me.
I got 3.5.
I want more. About that. How's that for an answer? I want more of those.
You know, it's good, but it's, I don't know, maybe it just didn't have enough carbonation for me. I feel like,
so
I would probably give it a 3.5.
So that
I'd give it a 4.
So that slushy one I brought last week, the flavor is very similar to that slushy, the leprechaun slushy shit I brought last week, but less sweet, more beer-like.
Okay, right. Gotcha.
And I like that one, but this one I like better because it's more beer-like. It's easier to drink. It's not a 450 more slushy.
Yes.
So I described the last beer as cream soda, sweet, bitter, amber, chocolate, coffee. Anything we should add?
Sounds about right.
Honey.